how we provision compute capacity is pretty different in the cloud world versus the traditional worlds that we're accustomed to. In my current environment, I probably have a dedicated fleet of servers. I may have hundreds of thousands of servers, and we all have our own. That's my server, that's your server. We may pool them to a degree using tools like virtualization, where I create a common layer atop a set of servers that look the same. But when I need compute capacity, for example, if I'm a development team that wants to deliver an application, what I have to do is file a ticket for someone to stand up a virtual machine on that computer, on that server, and then once that is completed, the ticket's closed and I can start working on it. That is appropriate for the kinds of applications that people have been building for the last 10 years, but the new applications that people are building, by and large, are going to be much more spiky in nature in terms of their consumption patterns. The application I was building before, which may have been designed for hundreds or maybe a few thousand people on vSphere, is now an application that could look like Fortnite or Pokemon Go, or maybe it's a big analytic application that needs to be spun up. So in this newer world, what I need to be able to do is spin up compute on demand, and I need to be able to do it in a really self-service manner, because I need to be able to take advantage of the fact that I may have 100,000 people using this application at noon on a Wednesday and 1,000 using it at midnight. And what cloud allows you to do is be much more nimble in the use of infrastructure. So rather than dedicated owned infrastructure, you're now essentially renting infrastructure. Rather than filing a ticket for someone to open up a virtual machine on top of my own infrastructure, I'm now just spinning up compute capacity on demand. The implication of that is that the tooling and the workflow that I've used for the last 15 years to solve that problem is no longer applicable to this new problem. And I think that's one of the big transitions we're seeing, is people adopting the notion of infrastructure as code, codification of infrastructure, so I can spin it up in a repeatable way, rather than asking my virtual machine administrator to click 500 times to spin up 500 servers. And that paradigm shift is caused a fairly significant retooling of both the technologies and the processes inside most companies.